The Warlord's Fury, a sci-fi alien romance, Alien Warlord Brides, Book 3, written by Carlton, narrated by Jacq Ainsworth. Chapter 1. Waystation never slept. Not fully, anyway. There was always someone up and about doing the things that passed as their day job. Jamie Oleander thought the term was funny, considering every individual that used it was floating on a space station surrounded by inky darkness sprinkled with distant stars. None of those lights was close enough to shed anything approximating daylight into the haphazard structure of the station. The closest was barely more than a red dwarf that occasionally passed by the big windows. It didn't look much bigger than one of the lemons she had shipped in for her bar. Most things on Waystation were as artificial as the time. The air she breathed was a carefully calibrated mix of gases that had to be delivered to the station regularly. When it was late, as it was now, everyone got to inhale the scrubbed and filtered contents of their last conversation. It was the same with the water. No one liked to talk about how the drains led to a huge recycling plant deep in the bowels of the station. Knowing that your drinking water was once traveling through the twisting turns of pipework leading away from apartments and facilities sure didn't inspire you to hydrate. That last little bit of nastiness surrounding station life worked in Jamie's favor. Her bar, gravitational pull, owed at least half its business to the fact that the alcohol was both imported and strong enough to kill off even the most tenacious bacteria in the cosmos. Residents and visitors alike were far happier to spend their off time riding out a bender than they were puking if the station's filters hadn't quite lived up to their job. Not only that, but at the pull, they stood a much better chance of running into someone on the prowl for a good tumble between the sheets. It was still 2 hours before she had to be in for her shift. She was a hands-on businesswoman. Mostly that meant that her time there was spent mixing drinks and mopping tables. It was honest work, and the money was good. Sure, the place was small, but that was how she liked it. The overhead was low. She only needed to deal with 5 employees, and the odds of a brawl sucking away all her profit with repairs was minimal. She couldn't think of a better way to spend her self-proclaimed retirement from the Andera militia. If pressed, she'd admit that wasn't entirely true. She could think of one better way. But that ship had sailed nearly a decade ago, taking the future she'd wanted with it. If she was telling the whole truth, her entire reason for dealing with Waystation's sewer water and crappy air quality was that opening a bar here gave her...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?